Hello and welcome to Sidequest. This is our weekly video game show here at Geekverse. I'm your host, Dylan Muss, and I have with me the Elden Lord, Kirklin Patza. Welcome to the show. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing really good. We were just saying Offcast is kind of has a Sunday feel to it, and I kind of like it. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. I got some big accomplishments to kind of praise myself on, and
I'm so proud of you.
I feel like it's a life goal to be in this position that I'm at now. And no, I'm feeling good. I think it'll be a good cast.
Yeah, we really should have hit record a couple minutes ago because we were just nostalgia talking about old weird Canadian shows like Yvonne of the Yukon, Angela Anaconda, and Dave the Barbarian and things like that, which probably would have been a fun conversation for people to hear. Any Canadian listeners?
We'll save that for our bread and butter maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
When you and me do that episode.
Yeah, that'll be a good time. But today's episode is going to be a fun one. We're going to be talking about Elden Ring, Kirklin's accomplishment there. We're also going to be talking our favorite Souls game bosses and least favorite. So that's going to be fun as well. I also have some games I've been playing. But Kirklin, before we get into any of that, I wanted to show you a recent purchase. I always like to share my my things that I get with you.
The swag
I recently got the physical version of UFO 50.
Hell yeah.
This is like a limited run thing that they did, which comes with all sorts of stuff. This is like the Switch version, so of course it has, like the actual Switch case and stuff, because they didn't normally make it. Some fun art inside there. Comes with like this cute little floppy
that's
disk,
cool.
for like Bug Hunter, one of my favorite games in the collection.
Is it a working floppy disk? If you have a floppy disk drive, can you run that?
It's just cardboard, so I don't think much would happen. It might just light your computer on fire. There's a bunch of stickers, very cute little stickers, like kind of all the little characters representing different games and stuff. You can see
awesome.
I've put many of them.
I see you. Yeah, you plucked some.
And then some. I didn't even know I had these ones. I was just opening this to show you, and then I found some more in here.
Oh, there you go.
So some very cute
Those
little
are
art.
cool.
The weird little moon cat egg.
Yeah.
Egg bean creature.
Kidney shaped object. I
like
like
got
it.
this. One thing I really like here. There's a. It's like a hand. It's like it's printed, but it's like a hand drawn map, like you would make as a kid when you're like charting out a level or something like that.
Yeah.
Like this one is like planning out like a level or something like that, and there's even like little red marks of like where you would write stuff. I really like there's like a little coffee stain, like an intentional coffee stain
yeah, that's good.
in the top of this too, which is very cute.
Great attention to detail.
And then of course the head honcho here is like the full UFO 50 companion book. So there's like a page. It's almost like it's like 2 pages for every single game in here. So, the classic strategy guide stuff of like all the stats, all the different characters, maps for games, and like none of the, UFO 50 doesn't have tutorials. It doesn't have maps for any of the games.
Yeah.
So many of the games are impossible to figure out. And so, I mean, this would have been nice when the game first came out, but it's
awesome.
just really nice. There's like
It
things with
looks
the notes at the back here. There's like stickers when you like get the cherry cartridges for the different games. You're supposed to like take those off and like plant them down when you complete it. So very happy with this purchase.
Yeah.
UFO 50, very special game, very cool game, and very much like of the time when you would have strategy guides and you have physical versions and stuff. So it just feels right to have something physical for this game. So very, very happy with this purchase.
I bet it smells like Yu-Gi-Oh cards too. I always love that smell of a fresh game companion novel.
Back.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, that's awesome. It's funny, like looking back on that era. I remember famously my cousin had the like strategy guide for Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. And like there's probably internet back then, but like definitely no smartphones. So it'd be like very limited access to like online guides and stuff like that. So that was like the holy Bible. Like if somebody had those like companion pieces, they were just changing the whole game of especially a game like Legend of Zelda that doesn't have really great quest indicator markers, especially those earlier titles. So it was just a powerful piece to be playing the game.
Having any of those yourself for specific games? I didn't have a lot. I just had like a handful. So the ones I did have like are quite memorable.
Yeah. I had like Warcraft 3 and like Age of Mythology ones. Like all those are like definitely all of like the PC games that I had as a kid. Probably like Simpsons Hit and Run, but like that was very limited. I don't think they were like strategy guides on there. It's just like I remember flipping through because they would come in a box and then they would always have at least a manual or something about just some content in the game. I think Star Wars Battlefront 2 had one also.
Nice.
Also that was like Star Wars Battlefront 2, I remember that one had like 5 discs. It was like 5 or 6 install discs. It's funny just looking back on that, how you'd have like a play disc and then just a bunch of different install discs just to get the game going. But yeah, I think it was just kind of Warcraft 3 that I had like an actual bigger one, and that was awesome because that was like getting into the lore and just the different factions, the different races, and I think that just found my love for that universe. It's probably a good thing that I never got like World of Warcraft back in the day, because I would have been hooked for life.
Yeah.
I think if I got into that game at that time, because I was just so in love with the lore. Fortunately, the RTS game did a really good job with the story and everything also, so I just got hooked on that. But yeah, I think that's it. And then of course, like I said, the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker one. But I think that was just my cousin that owned that. But yeah.
Speaking of Age of Mythology, did you listen to that song by Forte?
I did, actually. It's really good. Age of Mythology, kid. I really, really like that. I feel like it reminds me of a similar type of vibe that I've listened to in the past. So I'm kind of surprised that I haven't just heard it on like my Spotify radios. Because, like sometimes they'll play songs that sound similar.
Like under the radar band at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like they've been doing a lot of marketing with this album, so maybe they'll blow up a bit more. But yeah, I mean, I guess they're a little too obscure to be coming in the rotation.
I don't know if I clicked on the whole album or if I just like went to the radio of that specific song, because I remember a couple other ones by them pulled up. But yeah, no, nice. I really liked it. Good recommendation.
Yeah. The 2 guidebooks that come to mind for me, one is Animal Crossing on the GameCube, and that was great because there's so many cheat codes in that game. Like there's a cheat code for like just an insane amount of furniture and things like that. So it was really nice to just have like this full catalog of like choose whatever you want. And it would show you like the full sets, and each page would have like, here's what all like the kiddie furniture looks like. Here's what like the exotic furniture looks like. And yeah, I remember that one. I think it probably had like a little bio on all of the different villagers. So I remember like as a kid, me and my sister looking through that and like, ooh, really want to like get this one to come to our island. I don't know if there's a way you can like, I think it's just completely random, right? But we were just looking through like hoping that this one would show up one day off the train. And then the other big one for me was definitely Fire Emblem: The Sacred Stones. And that was great because it had, all the classes, the art in that game is amazing. So even just looking through the art was really fun. But it had like all the classes, the growths, the subclasses, the trees that they would build into, and kind of like recommended character builds to do for each character. Had like full glossary of all the items in that. And then, in every Fire Emblem game, it's always like, if you walk onto this specific tile and you have like 14 luck or whatever it is, like you'll get some random item drop. So to just like have that for all these certain maps, like whenever you're on like a desert map, there's always hidden items all over the place, right? And so to have like, okay, and if you stand in these 6 squares, you have like a 15% chance to get this thing.
Yeah.
And I just remember like I even playthroughs later, if I wouldn't open the book again, I would still remember like, oh yeah, I think if I go roughly right here with a character that has like a high luck stat, that I'm gonna be able to find some item here. Details like the different routes and all that kind of stuff. So those are the 2 that I remember. I don't know where that Fire Emblem one went. I know I've looked for it in recent years, and who the heck knows where it is at my parents' house. I hope it's not gone forever. I'd like to find that again one day, but I think I have the Animal Crossing one in my house somewhere now. But yeah, I miss those days. I think they probably still make some of those. Like obviously UFO 50 just got one here, but that's like a limited run thing. They don't just spam them for every game these days. But I mean, even just in general, physical anything for games just kind of going away a little bit, other than actual consoles. So yeah, I
mean, even like the retail stores, right? Like there's way less like EB Games and GameStops and stuff like that around, at least in my neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, maybe there are still tons of these books, and I just don't even go to the store to like see if they are there. Maybe that's what it is. I feel like there's very few games. It is very few. Like I'll get a limited edition for like Spelunky 2 or Into the Breach when they did that, UFO 50. Usually for like more indie things is more because it's just rare to find physical anything for like smaller indie games and whatnot. But yeah, it was a fun little tangent there. How about with that we can jump into games we've been playing. I'll start with my stuff because we can build up yours, because yours will kind of segue perfectly into our main topic later in the episode. But I think now's a good time for me to talk a little bit about Spider-Man 2, which I've been playing for like a couple months, very slowly. Like I think I'm like 10 hours in over the course of like literally 2 months. So I'm just chipping away every once in a while. I haven't really played a lot of games recently. Like I blasted through Requiem, but other than that, not really gaming a ton right now for whatever reason. But yeah, Spider-Man 2, tons of fun so far, unsurprisingly. I think one of the things that I actually randomly like the most is just like the expansion of the map and going like across the bridges to like the more suburb areas on like I guess it would be, where would that be? That's like the east side of the map, I suppose.
Okay.
Which is weird because it's like there isn't like super tall buildings there, so you would think that the swinging is like a little bit less, but there's like tons of trees everywhere. You can still like attach to non-existent buildings, of course, because they just make it so you can fly around and whatnot. But I don't know, it just seemed like a fun addition to have this kind of totally different area to explore, and it feels like in general everything's just like a little bit bigger, even though it's quite familiar. And then obviously adding like the wingsuit, and because you're going more across the bridges and stuff, having like the water movement of like skidding around on the water and then like swinging underneath the bridges, or like doing the zip lash thing to like go across the boats and whatnot. Just like I feel like even more fun things to the locomotion, which is kind of surprising because the game already like moves super well, but even just all these things, there's like aerial drafts, right, because of like the wingsuit and whatnot. But yeah, I feel like just moving around, like sometimes I'll just boot up the game, don't even like do anything, I just fly around, and I just kind of get the satisfaction out of playing it that way. Then obviously like the two characters feel a little bit different as well, even though they're mostly got the same moveset. But I think that was like maybe I just, again, it's so much fun to move around in those games, and they've somehow even added more to that. It makes me wonder like how that's going to feel in Wolverine. Like how fun is it going to be to move in Wolverine, especially compared to their last game? Is it going to feel like sluggish and clunky? I don't know. I'll have to wait and see.
I feel like he still moves pretty fluidly though, like Wolverine, even though he's not swinging around, like he's still, he's an animal.
And maybe
he'll move around.
Use the bike. I don't know if that's just for cutscenes or if you actually like get to drive. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's awesome. How are you liking like the story so far?
It's
all that.
It's pretty good. I mean, I guess it's a lot more. It feels a lot more fractured than the first game, just because you are. I guess like for the story, it's kind of like, okay, if you want to progress the main story, you got to like play Miles right now. You got to play Peter, but it just feels like there's a lot more going on. It feels somewhat less focused so far, but at the same time, I feel like this is very much like it's almost like a sandbox playground type of game anyway. So to just kind of let you do whatever you want. Like obviously it's so easy to get distracted because anytime you go anywhere, it's like, oh, there's a crime happening 100 meters away. And it's like, okay, I'm going to spend 30 seconds doing that. And then, oh, there's a backpack over there. I'm going to go do that. Oh, there's a quest over here. Oh, there's two guys playing chess. I'm going to take a picture of that because it's, I don't know, gives me some XP or whatever. So it's very easy to get distracted. But I know I really like the stuff with Harry. That stuff's more just like kicking in right now with where I'm at in the story. Again, because I'm not too far in at this point. But like him, I guess a little bit of spoilers for a game that's years old now at this point. But yeah, like him getting the symbiote stuff and still kind of figuring out what's going on there. And just kind of him and Peter bonding more because he was like, an element of the first game, right? But just very minimally. Like it was really, he was, I don't even know if he was like, had a model in game, right? Like he was just on like those weather stations or like random flashbacks or something like that.
Not until the end, because he has like his body like wrapped in the like a symbiote thing for like healing at the end. It's like the end credit scene, I think, of the first game. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like maybe a little underwhelmed with like the Miles. Like I guess the Miles story is more like slice of life so far. Like it's really just like him and his friends vibing out, and it's a lot more like school related things. Whereas Peter's more like just doing the big superhero stuff, and there's more of like that plot around Harry's lab, which is I love that building. Like the design of Harry's lab is such a cool place, just cruising around, seeing all the different experiments people are doing there. But yeah, it's really good. I like the mission pretty early on with Peter and Harry when they're like, it's like a flashback to them in high school, and they're like sneaking through the high school doing all this fun stuff. It just feels like in the first game when you have a Miles or MJ missions, but like just more engaging these ones are because you actually like have powers and can still move around and stuff in fun ways. So yeah, it feels like they kind of took out some of those more like slower parts, and especially now that Miles has powers of his own. So if you're playing as him, you're getting like exhilarating gameplay and all that. But yeah, I don't know. Is that how you felt early on? Do you remember? Is that roughly where you were at? Feeling like, okay, Peter's got a lot more going on, like big picture wise, but still it's fun to see what Miles is up to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I found like I was just getting really engaged in like the Peter stuff, and then I had to force to do some Miles things, I would be a little bit upset because it's like, oh, okay, I'm just taking a break from like the storyline that I'm hooked on. But I'm trying to remember because I, of course, got super distracted and was doing all the photos and backpacks and stuff like that. But I can't remember if I just did that, like do some of that and then a mission, or if I was just grinding out like all of the stuff in the certain areas. It's been a couple of years now since I jumped in there. But I mean, just you talking about it makes me want to jump back in and just swing around because, yeah, those Man, the like the wingsuit edition with like the air drafts and everything. It's just it's crazy some of the stuff you can do like movement wise, and yeah, they definitely upgraded that from the first game. But no, I remember really enjoying the story with Harry and all that on my first go around. Yeah, but there's definitely some mild stuff brewing, so it's not like it's all slice of life for him. So you can look forward for that.
Yeah, I like too. Like I feel like the first game had. It obviously had a bunch of suits, really unique ones, but I think it's new, right? That they have like the palette swaps for each of the suits now.
Yeah.
Too. So like 4 variations. So I like that. Obviously, in terms of the customization, that's fun. Enemy types, like I feel like so far that's another thing too, because the combat, like it can get a little bit stale now that we're like at the trilogy of a game, and it's it is fun, but it does get a little bit samey. At least that's the way I do it. I just kind of fall into my old tricks. There's so many things on the skill tree though to like mix it up and use different strategies and whatnot. But I think they've done a good job with the enemy types, like all the sand enemies. I like fighting those guys, and they're just kind of all over the place. And that whole Sandman sequence right at the start of the game is really fun. And I like that it like feels like it actually takes the city like weeks to unravel from that, because there's still like just sand everywhere. Certain parts of the city are still just covered in sand. Like they're just still recovering from this. And then you have like the robot dog things. You got like the flying robots as well, the little bird ones. So yeah, I feel like there's a even more enemy variety than there was before. At least it feels that way as someone who hasn't jumped back in since I guess Miles in 2020. So it's been a few years for me here. And then yeah, I think the other thing too is I kind of forgot how much I really enjoyed the stealthy missions in this first Spider-Man game, right? Of just like kind of going around the outside of the map in a very Ghost of Tsushima way of like, okay, I'm going to pick off the guys that are kind of not being seen by anyone else. Maybe make a distraction over here to take this guy out. And now you can like make the web line like across 2 surfaces to like make an extra spot for you to go and sneak up and like pull a guy up and knock him out. So yeah, I think I forgot how much I enjoyed those sequences. But yeah, some of them are pretty tough. Like they'll just throw like 30 enemies at you, and it's if you don't do a ton of stealthing first before you like get into like the huge action, it's like it's freaking hard to deal with that stuff. There's like 6 guys shooting rocket launchers at you, guys with ARs over here, and then people charging you with shields and whatnot. It's I'm a little bit rusty for sure, but yeah, so far I've had a really good time with it, even though I'm not super deep in, obviously.
Nice, yeah, it's a good game to just pluck away here and there.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely wanted to put it to bed before Wolverine comes out. Not that there's any continuity finishing there, but just in terms of catching up on the Insomniac stuff. So I have plenty of time. I don't know. It's like, what, 20-hour game for the main story or something like that?
It's a little bit longer than the first game, I remember, but I think it's less than 20. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've been screwing around like 15, a little bit. So yeah, I probably a little bit behind the curve in terms of just messing around a little too much. Just looking at the details. Again, hanging out in the suburbs a lot, just looking at stuff. I do that so much now that I'm like doing this YouTube channel. I'm just like looking at things more in games, and I'm just going around these suburbs, looking at these houses, looking at because one thing I love about the first Spider-Man was that like tech they added, where there's like kind of an image inside of all the apartment building windows, so it like looks like there's a room inside there, and if you go up close, it's just like a 2D image, but from afar, it looks really good. And they've made those like even better in this game, where they actually are like a 3D environment in there. There is still a lot of like tricking the eye with like 2D images and stuff, but I'm just going up to buildings, and there's like an office that looks like a therapist office or something. And there's someone working at the desk, and there's a guy sitting in the waiting room chair. And then if you look too closely, it's like, oh yeah, right above that office, there's the exact same office with the exact same guy in the exact same clothes. And it's like, it takes you out of the illusion a little bit, because it's, you're not really supposed to look at that. You're supposed to just kind of have it in your peripheral vision or whatever. But I'm having a grand old time just being like, wait, the scale of this room doesn't make sense for the size of this building. And just, there's so much to observe in this game. And so I'm just having fun just kind of being part of the city and just cruising around. And yeah, like I said, not really mainlining it in any sense. Because obviously I don't got to review it. I'm already 2 years late on the conversation, so I might as well just kind of go at my own pace, right? So
yeah, no, absolutely. That's the way you should play games, I feel.
Absolutely.
I mean, it took me fucking 9 years to finally beat Elden Ring, or however long it's been.
But you've done it, and that's impressive.
Yeah.
2 other games I'll quickly shout out. I actually played these a little bit ago, but haven't brought them up on the podcast yet. First is a game called Word Factory, which is one that I had on my wish list for absolutely ever. And then I think it was like over the Steam winter sale. It's Word Factory with an I at the end instead of a Y if you're Googling it. I had it on my wish list forever. It went like really cheap over the winter sale. I decided to finally pick it up. It's a very cute little puzzle game about taking letters and kind of fabricating them, making little machines, making little engines almost. It very much like the screen is a very much like a little blueprint or like a little scratch pad kind of setup to it. Like it's not like meant to be some big immersive world or whatever, but it starts out very simple. Like you have like the letter I, and then you shoot out that letter I into like another device that will take the I and kind of like squish it and turn it into a C. Or you'll put the eye up into a device that like rotates it, so now it's an eye on its side. It's like a sideways line, and then you can take like that C and that sideways line and you combine it, and you'll get like different letters and things like that. You could take the C, flip it around, and now you have like a P essentially. Or if you get two of those C's and you combine them together with an I, now you'll make like a B, and then you can shoot those off into make like whatever word you're being given at that point in time, and then just little improvements on top of that, other little funny machines combining. Now you can combine 2 elements, 3 elements, 4 elements at a time, and then eventually it gets to the point, like the first few levels, it's not a whole lot of machines going on there. You still have a ton of your screen blank, but even like as far as I've gotten into it, which is not too far, you're just having a screen full of machines going everywhere, and then it's fun. Like it's really easy if you just kind of screw up or something. It's really easy to just reset up a line, move something over here, put something else down. Like it's not like a frustrating game in that way. It's just like a fun trial error type thing. And I'm sure it can get a little more intense in some of the harder levels or something when you have like limited space and other challenges. I think there's like a lot of custom content too, whether that's like through mod support or just like in-game tools. I wasn't exactly sure, but I don't know. It seems like a game that I think it has like a weekly challenge or a daily challenge or something too. So I don't know. It seems like there's a lot going on for what is like otherwise like a pretty simple concept. It almost feels like a iOS game or something. Like it is nice to have the space and play on like an actual screen, but yeah, if anyone's looking for like a cute little puzzle game that was like I think like $5 when I picked it up on Steam, check out Word Factory. Pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting concept. I feel like there's not enough word games out there. My mind always goes back to the good old All the Right Type. Did you ever play that game?
Show us All the Right Type. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was so bad at it. I'm still really bad. I don't know, like, spent how much time on a computer gaming,
right? Yeah.
Now even programming. I am so bad at typing. I don't know why.
I feel that sometimes I'm like typing things. I'm like I should be really good at this, but like it really should be just a second language.
I still don't keep my hands in like where they tell you in All the Right Type to put.
Yeah,
them.
No, that's for
like I do usually with my left hand, but my right hand is like it's bad.
WASD. That's where my hands go.
Exactly. I got the gamer hotkeys down.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm a hot mess. Thankfully, none of that matters for Word Factory. It's a different kind of word game. Yeah, it's funny. I feel like word games have been making a bit of a comeback. I've seen a lot of them recently, just with the Balatro a couple of years ago, and now every developer making like a Balatro ripoff, like that concept, but with other things. There's been so many like Scrabble Balatro games, other word Balatro-y type things. So yeah, I've seen a lot of word games recently. So, but this one's definitely distinct from those kind of things. This isn't like a roguelike or anything. It's just a linear puzzle game. And then the last game I wanted to shout out, again, not one I'm super duper far in. That's apologies for the broken record here. I haven't rolled credits on any of these. But Kirklin, I picked up and have been playing a little bit of a Divinity Original Sin. I don't know what it was about. Is
that Larian Studios?
Yeah, that's Larian's series that they were working on before they did Baldur's Gate 3. So they did Divinity Original Sin, then they did Original Sin 2, which is I still even to this day hear a lot of people who have played all these games say that like Divinity Original Sin 2 is like even better than Baldur's Gate 3. It's just like an amazing game.
I've heard that too.
Yeah, which is kind of surprising because Baldur's Gate 3 is like one of the best games ever. It's like critically, I don't know a single person who doesn't like it. I love it personally. So much replayability and stuff in there. But yeah, somehow they maybe even did a little bit better before. But I felt there was two reasons. One is this was a lot cheaper. The first one was like $6 or something, and I felt like I maybe wanted to build up to it, maybe experience a little bit more of the world. I don't know. I'm sure you could just jump into the second one and it's fine in terms of like the story and just picking up wherever it is. But yeah, I kind of wanted to just go back and see what this is. And this is like a remastered version or enhanced version or something like that. So it doesn't feel like old and janky. I guess it really plays a lot like Baldur's Gate. It feels different in the sense that I played Baldur's Gate on console and I'm playing this on PC. And so obviously the controls and layout of a Baldur's Gate type game feels like much better for a PC type game and interface in general. So it just feels like better in that way. But otherwise, it's kind of funny like how similar this feels to Baldur's Gate 3, because that just felt like it kind of came out of nowhere, and like they didn't work on Baldur's Gate 2 or whatever. It was like Larian just came out of nowhere to make this game, which now they're like one of the biggest developers in the world, and in terms of like fan, I guess, prestige and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's like they really had this formula down for years and years, because this plays and feels like a whole heck of a lot like Baldur's Gate. They definitely have honed a lot of things. Things feel a lot better in Baldur's Gate. A lot more things feel quite intuitive, but also a lot of things don't at sometimes, because if you don't have like that super deep knowledge of D&D, like you're already kind of a little bit behind the curve when you jump into a game like that. Yeah. But I really like the initial setup of this game. Like you have like kind of a little tutorial area, a couple little encounters, and then you get dropped into a town, and there's kind of like a mystery in this town. And so it's really fun just kind of going building to building. One, it introduces you to the town, but also you're trying to unravel the mystery. Like, oh, this guy seemed a little bit sus. Maybe like later in the day, I'm going to come back and like break into his house and like see if I can find any clues here, or go to the graveyard. Got to dig up this grave. And then, oh, that's a dead sheep. That's not a human body. What the fuck happened here? Well, I'm trying to find this guy, but he's not even here. So early on, like the little mystery novel kind of vibe of it is hitting right. So I like the kind of the start of the game. Yeah, and like combat and all that stuff feels very similar to Baldur's Gate. The character creation feels, like a light version of what Baldur's Gate 3 was. It's a little more simplified. The only thing that I find kind of weird is like you have two characters in this game. I don't know if it grows beyond that, but you get two at the beginning, and you create both of them. And if they like feel differently about, obviously you're the character picking their choices, but like let's say it's like the classic like, oh, violence or peace route, and one of my characters, I'm like, okay, this guy's more like violence, the other one's more like peace, and so sometimes they'll like bicker, and you can kind of pick the dialogue options, but then they'll do like this really weird like simulated rock paper scissors thing to like determine who like wins the argument, and like you end up going with that person's choice and that outcome. And it feels very weird. Like it's not extremely immersive. It's a little bit janky. So we'll see. I think I like was even reading and seeing on like the I think it's like on the mod page for it is just like so many mods to like remove that. People are like, this thing's stupid. Like we just want to remove this from the game. This is not very enjoyable. So that's like the only con so far. But otherwise, really like the world, really like the characters, the setup, and in terms of like that classic, it's not D&D branded. It's not the same names for spells, but it's the same idea and rolling dice and all that kind of fun stuff. And yeah, it's really fun to go back to a little bit more of the roots of Larian. I mean, I think the roots are much deeper than this. This is kind of more when they found their groove a little bit. But yeah, I'd recommend it. As obviously you're a fan of Baldur's Gate 3, I think you'd like this as well. So yeah, put it on the radar. It's a fun time to go back to this.
Yeah, the second one's been on my radar for a long time. I had a friend like years ago, like I feel like early stage of the podcast era, he was telling me about that game, and it just looked intimidating to get into, especially at that point. Like I had never even played D&D, so it would have been a big chomp, to try and swallow and get down. But I mean, now that I've experienced Baldur's Gate, played D&D, it definitely would be up my alley. What was that new title that they have coming out that they just like teased?
It's just called Divinity, I think, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know what the connection is. It's dropping the Original Sin moniker, but I guess they're going back to this world and system. So that was another reason why I wanted to jump into this, because I wanted to get a little bit of that backstory for it. It's kind of like when Avowed came out last year, and I went back and checked out a little bit of Pillars of Eternity from Obsidian, because it's set in the same world, so it's nice to get kind of introduced to that environment, see what the spells and characters and the vibe and the tone and all that stuff is like. But yeah, I mean, even that Divinity trailer, very different vibes so far from what this game is like. So we'll see how much of it is a change, a reboot, or if it is kind of more the same going forward. But yeah, it's just cool to see what this studio was up to years and years ago.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, cool. How about with that, we take our first break of the show. I'm going to shout out our Patreon producers, Aaron Braden, April of Darkness, Jack Grant, Superbad Mike, TGGLM69, aka NRF, Hidalgo, Lenny Kravitz, Cocktail Clay, John with OH, Sam Green, and John M. Thank you all so much for keeping the lights on here. Patreon is definitely the best way to support this show if you like what we are doing here. $1 there goes really far, honestly, compared to any other place you could possibly support us, and we make it worth it. We give you all sorts of bonus content, monthly bread and butters, and a whole catalog of ones we've recorded over the years. And other exclusive episodes, you get access to various retrospectives, ad-free and early and exclusively sometimes. Every other episode, you get ad-free versions there. You can get the RSS feed, so you don't have to watch the video version or listen through Patreon. You can just get it right into your podcast app, which is really nice. Other than that, join the Discord. Again, I shouted this out last week, but again, Taylor really put in some elbow grease, some hard work recently to zhuzh that bad boy up. It's looking good. It's a lot cleaner. You can even rep the little Geekverse, I don't know what they call it, server tag, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
So you can, share your Geekverse pride across your Discord adventures. There's even like a fun little lo-fi beats to chill to channel in there. And sometimes Taylor's in there. So if you want to talk to Taylor Field live, jump in there. He might be in there. You might be able to just talk to Taylor while he's just vibing out. You know what? I don't know if you want to know what he's up to. Hopefully he has the mic muted when he's just hanging out in that channel.
He's got his cam on.
You might get a glimpse into Taylor Field's life. So definitely join the Discord. And other than that, I don't know what's going on in the feeds. I'm so out of it. But there's all sorts of things. So just subscribe, check things out, and all of that. We will take a quick ad break and be right back. Hello, we are back. Kirklin Patzer. You achieved something which very few, well, a lot of people have, I guess, but you should still be proud. You beat Elden Ring.
Hell yes. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's been a journey for sure. I feel like my journey on this specific character was interesting because I started like a long time ago. Took a break. I feel like I was playing on like a different character, and then I ended up like going back to my OG starting class character. Right. That was just like such a like so inefficient of like stat distribution and everything. Luckily I found out that of course you can like respec to more min-max my character, and that really just progressed my my speed of advancement into the overall story. And then I would just hit a wall, like certain bosses. Then I would just put the game down for a while, then come back months later. And so it was a long time coming. It's funny you're mentioning you getting through like 10 hours into Spider-Man, but like spread over to like, I don't know, 10 months or something. I feel like I have no idea when this character actually started, like what year, but he's actually the Elden Lord now, which is so amazing. I feel just mixed on like some of the bosses. I feel like I didn't truly beat them correctly because I just like ended up cheesing them or something. But at the end of the day, I just still felt so good by getting that great rune or whatever it was. I absolutely love the story of this game so much. Nice. I've been diving into like so much Elden lore, like just videos. It's amazing. I found like a couple podcasts that kind of go over certain things like that because like it all the info is there like through like lore description items and like in-game content, but like to just piece together like actually in order like what this universe is and just all the significance of like characters interacting with other characters and the betrayals. There's always betrayals in these Souls games. It totally blows my mind. I'm really curious what the movie's going to be like. Yeah. Of course, we got the Spanester in there, Kaylee Spaney, so I'm hyped regardless, but also just like what they're actually going to do for the just like who they're going to be including for the demigods, the Empyreans, and all of that stuff. And it definitely boosted my overall enjoyment of the game, of just like diving into that lore content, because that's just the way that I like to jump into these types of video games, especially the ones that are like so rich in like deep world building and lore, and like the world is just so ancient that you're going through, and it's fun. Kind of in all these Souls games, you're kind of going through a world that's old, right? Like when you go through Lothern in Dark Souls 1, like it's not new. It's like, what would you call it? And just like the defeated era of that old once great
they
kingdom.
Do such a good job of like making it feel like it maybe was once a nice lived-in place that had like a thriving world, and it almost feels like there's layers. It almost feels like, okay, there was this world, and then it like went to shit, and then it came back, and then it went to shit again. Like it feels like it's got that like almost like the Futurama. There's like the city like just underneath. The city, like,
old New York.
It's kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. And multiple times in this game, it just like blew. Like I feel like I did pretty good at not getting spoiled on kind of what was gonna happen with certain things. Like I guess I'll minor spoilers, minor or major spoilers for a really old game, but just like when you get into like the burning of the Erd tree and all of that stuff, like that was just like blowing my mind of what was going on there. I didn't really know like why we were doing stuff like that until of course I went into like the lore videos later on. But yeah, it was just so epic. When you go to like Farum Azula, just such a really cool designed world. That's like the floating city where you fight like Placidusax and like those characters. Like it's just like so grandiose of scale. It's insane. And yeah, the first time you step into Lanedale, like the capital city, like it just totally hits for kind of what you're expecting, because it's like this build up, right, of like this is the capital city of the Erd Tree. You spend all this time to get there, and then when you actually step foot and there's just this like dead decaying dragon in the middle of the city, it's just like, what the fuck happened here? This is insane. Yeah, the mountaintops, the giants, the Halig tree, all of those areas. It just felt like a really, really epic journey, and one that like you really can't get that first playthrough experience ever again on like any of these Souls games, of whether it's you're not expecting a certain boss to appear or something. You're like going up to a big staircase and there's just like dragon flies down on you. Yeah. You know, like you'll be expecting that on a future playthrough, but like the first time that happens, it's just so epic, and it just feels like an epic movie adventure that you're going through, like just multiple times. And yeah, I'm blown away, honestly. Like even though I play this game years after its release, it just blows my mind, like the quality of what this game is. And yeah, I know it's absolutely insane. I do have the DLC. I haven't jumped into it yet.
Right.
I'm a little bit intimidated because my friends have been saying it is like considerably harder, especially like pretty much majority of the bosses. Because you've dabbled, right?
Yeah, I beat the DLC, and I would agree with that.
Oh, nice.
It was effed for sure at certain times.
Yeah, so yeah. I haven't braved to jump in there. I will definitely, but
give yourself a bit of a break, I think, and then come back to it.
Yeah, absolutely. What else do I want to say? I mean, yeah, just really like the end battle too, with the Elden Beast and the Radagon pairing. Really, really frustrating boss battle for myself. Just
which
the
part,
fact
the Elden
that
Beast or Radagon?
It like Radagon was like pretty simple, like once I kind of figured him out, but it's just like the process of like I get pretty close on the Elden Beast, and then knowing that I have to go through like the two different phases of the battle of like beating Radagon again. And then of course I'm like rushing at that point too. I'm like, I'll just quickly go through it, and then I end up dying to him, and then it's like, what am I doing here? And that's when you just put the controller down, come back after a day, maybe go have a snack. You're getting a little bit too heated. You
can use torrent now in the Elden Beast boss fight, right?
Yes. Could you not originally? That's insane.
Not, so you had to just fucking truck it so far to get over to when he would like fly away.
That's crazy to me, man. Like across.
I'm a Elden Beast hater, but maybe part of that is because I couldn't use torrent, and it was just annoying and long.
Yeah, I definitely used torrent. I didn't know that you could use torrent for a lot of the boss battles early on. Like when I first fought Radon.
Yeah.
At the Wailing, the Wailing Sands, he's so far away, and I didn't know that you could use torrent. So like. All like 30 of my attempts on that first go around, I'm just running at it.
That's so funny.
Yeah, totally changes the game when you can actually use torrent. And man, torrent, best. I remember you asked me this a long time ago. Absolutely, best video game horse ever. Yeah. It is just so fluid to use. Using him in combat, getting the double jumps, like running at enemies, and then like jumping off of him into like an aerial attack. It's just he is a weapon that you use as well as just traversing the universe. And yeah, man, like it's just such an amazing game, and I can't believe I slept on it for so. Well, I wasn't really sleeping on it. It's just maybe I was too intimidated. I couldn't really get through some of those roadblocks on my first venture. But yeah, loved all the fact. Like I can't say enough about this game. It's definitely one day we'll redo our top 10 video games. It's absolutely cemented on there. I would say I probably even top 5. Honestly, I'm pretty hyped on it right now, and it's pretty recent, but. Yeah, it's pretty really just amazing what they're able to do with the story, and all the different endings and whatnot.
I think you beat Travis to beating this game.
Really? He's not beat that game.
I don't think so. I think you can brag now.
Good to know. I thought he did beat the main game, just not the DLC. So all these years that he's just been bugging.
I think he's really close, but he hasn't quite done it. I think.
It'd be tough to jump back in, like if he's taking a long break. I mean, I'm sure he can do it. He's a determined man that sets his mind to it. I'm sure he can do it, but Yeah.
He beats games quick. When he wants to, he's a gamer, man. He's a gamer. Yeah. Did you go to the Haligtree area?
I did. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And have you beat that area?
I have. Yes. Like
okay.
with Melania and everything.
What's your opinion on Melania? Yeah.
Yeah. So
A very
Melania was one
boss fight for sure.
Well, and like it's interesting playing the game now and like hearing comparisons to like the first version of the game because like it just sounds like a completely different game, especially like balancing of some of these enemy types. Because I have heard like comparisons of that early patch of Melania, and it was absolutely insane. Definitely one of the hardest bosses I've ever played in any video game ever. Even on like the more nerfed version, that was one that I just put down for a while and went around. I ended up kind of doing some research on like how to how to do a little bit better with that battle.
Yeah.
I ended up like respecing my character a little bit to try and use something that was a little bit more.
I definitely looked up. Yeah, how can I cheese this boss fight? Like, I want to put this to bed.
Yeah, and that was something else too on my journey throughout this game is like really understanding more of like how to play these Souls games and like the importance of like weapon greases, for example, or like affinity types and stuff like that. Like that is present in every Souls game, even the Souls-like titles. But this one really opened my eyes to that, and specifically, man, we are going to talk about the bosses. I'm kind of talking about some of the bosses now, but do you remember the Godskin duo battle?
Yes. yeah.
That like actually is some of the biggest bullshit ever, and that was one I had to Google. Like I'm like, this is actually impossible. But like understanding like the importance of like sleep pots and stuff like that, and like actually just completely changing the difficulty of certain boss battles or encounters or stuff like that. So I think when I go back and play other Souls titles, I'm going to be just so much better at them because I've played through them now. I kind of know what to expect, but also just like looking for that min max and like actually choosing the right types for certain enemies. The game doesn't really make it clear what those what those are, but I don't know. I just feel like because first time I played Dark Souls 1 and even majority of like this Elden Ring playthrough, like I feel like I wasn't even really like upgrading my weapons properly or like using the smithing stones correctly. And again, like the game tutorializes it the most probably in Elden Ring compared to those older titles, but still it's not very, very clear. And you don't really realize that if you like use your stones on on a certain weapon, you can't really get those back. So you're kind of committing. And I feel like that's where I was kind of just shoot myself in the foot early on, but at the same time,
things it's like you have to go to this specific merchant to like do this thing, and it's like, hey, I just forgot that guy existed because I encountered him 30 hours ago and he didn't have anything useful for me at the time. And now he's like apparently the only guy who can do this thing. It's like, oh, how was I supposed to know?
It's weird that they have that in their games, and even just like the whole NPC thing, how like, man, if you accidentally swing on an NPC, you can just fuck yourself for so hard. Of course, you can like go to the it's like the Church of Vows where you can like absolution yourself to just make it so all NPCs aren't hostile against you, or at least like the friendly ones. But if you don't know that early on, you can like screw yourself so hard and just like hard lock yourself out of certain like side quests or whatnot if you just accidentally kill certain NPCs. I feel like there was something else I was going to say, but it was quite the journey. So proud of myself. That's what I was going to say. Of just like how I wasn't really good at the min-maxing early on in my journey. I feel like it was almost better because it kind of just forced myself to just get down to the basics of like the gameplay of like just understand the moveset, because that's what the enemy does. He's not going to be doing any like crazy stuff. He has his moveset, and if you understand that and study that, you'll be able to just dance with him. And I feel like that's just like the art of those games. And then when you min-max, that's when you like, it's probably a lot more relevant in like the new game plus like when you get later on in like the late game stuff, but still just you are at an advantage if you are able to like, kind of look for those affinity advantages and disadvantages, and also just like the importance of poise. Like I feel like I just wasn't really using proper armor or whatnot. And then I realized that if I get to like a certain poise threshold, you can just tank certain attacks. There's this one Ash of War I had for a long portion of the game, and I think it was just called Endure or something. And it just like increases your poise to the point that you can actually just face tank like any attack. Like it doesn't matter if it's like a giant just swings at you. Like it's
Nice.
kind of crazy. But and again, like I would win battles with that. I'm like, that's kind of dirty. I feel like I feel like I won that pretty dirty. But at the same time, I'm so proud of myself for getting to that point. And yeah, no, it's amazing. Highly recommended the game to absolutely everybody.
Yeah,
even if you're new to the Souls, like.
What was your main weapon that you used by the end of the game?
Ooh, yeah. So like I said, I kind of messed around with some things. I was like messing around with some magic here and there. So I was using, I think it was the Carrion Greatsword or something. It's like base attack. You would charge your Ash of War, and it would do this like really really large magic like greatsword swing, and you can charge it up to 3 times, and it was crazy if you have really high intelligence. And then of course I'd pair that with like Carrion Slicer, which is a really really powerful sorcery. You just like swing a sword like with your wand, but there's like no cooldown, so you can like chain it really well. And again, if you have high intelligence, it's kind of crazy. I was using the Moonlight Katana for a while too. That's
right. That one's super good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a intelligence dexterity weapon. What did I beat the game? Oh, I ended up using the Sword of Night and Flame. Really really cool weapon. It basically scales off faith and intelligence.
So you're kind of like a mid small range sword kind of guy.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't really a mega bonk on this specific character. But I respect that playstyle nonetheless.
Oh, I love, yeah.
There's nothing better than just one-shotting a boss.
I want the biggest weapon I can hold, yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to do running jump attacks and just get like huge damage and then probably get hit for it.
Yeah. And one thing that's just amazing about specifically Elden Ring is like the unique design of their weapons and the armors and all those things of just like, I almost had like just overload of like options, because I would kind of just want to dabble with all the different weapons that I would get my hands on, but of course in these types of games you're kind of just committing to your specific playstyle. It is nice that they added the option to respec in this game. It is limited to because you trade in like a larval tier to Renala, and that's how you can respec your character. And I think you only get like a certain amount on a specific playthrough. Yeah. But still, like I think I did it like 2 or 3 times, but that's more you can do in other Dark Souls games, at least to my knowledge. So that's kind of cool that they added that. But yeah, no, those were kind of the main ones. I was using the Zweihander like super early on. That's just like a colossal sword that I do remember that one from the first Dark Souls game.
Okay, yeah.
Just a big ass sword.
Yeah.
Really really good weapon, especially if you would. I think you would use like a war cry Ash of War, at least that's what I was running, and then again it would like increase your poise, and you just like really really heavy swing down, and it would just destroy enemies, at least early on. Again, that was like early game I was using that, but really really cool weapons in this game. And
do you be parrying?
Hell no, man. I'm not that good at this game. Are you kidding me? In Dark Souls 1, I like tried to kind of like I was playing like a cleric type character, and so I was using a shield a lot, and I was kind of trying to get better at the parrying, but it's so difficult. I don't understand how people can do it like super consistently. When you see in like speedrunners and whatnot, they just do it perfectly every time. Or you see those videos of people just like one-shotting Gwyn, like the final boss in Dark Souls, because they just parry him. No, I don't know if I parried once, honestly, in my entire playthrough. Like I'm just not that accurate with that. I'm pretty proud of my rolls accuracy.
Okay, nice.
But not necessarily my parrying.
Yeah, I'm a big roller for sure.
Yeah,
anti-parry for sure. Cool. That's good. Again, congratulations there. And how about we just roll that into our last topic, which is just kind of a short and sweet, I suppose, ranking of our favorite and or least favorite Souls game boss fights. So this isn't like a definitive list, and honestly, I think I would need to really go through it. And if I was doing a full-on ranking, I just kind of picked a handful that I like, a handful that I dislike, and I mean, kind of including any of these Souls games we've played. I mentioned you. Feel free to throw some Neo in there. Any game
Yeah.
that's kind of like in this genre space. So I'm curious to see if you have any picks from there. Let me where should I start? I'm gonna start with. I'll start with one from Dark Souls 1. How about go back, not to the beginning, because that's of course Demon Souls, which I haven't played a bit of, but I didn't have a pick from that game. I'm gonna go with the Chaos Witch, Quelaag. I don't know how to pronounce.
Oh hell
her
yeah,
name.
Quelaag.
Yeah.
Quelaag? Yeah, something
like that. Which is of course like the boss at the end of one of the most annoying sections in that game. So that's like part of the factor there is that it's in like Bile, or what's it called, Blighttown. You have to go all the way down Blighttown before you get to Chaos Witch Quelaag, which is just like a hybrid human spider lava demon POS. Really, really great boss fight though. I think part of it is like that annoying ass journey to get there. But I love the setting of that boss fight. I think the mechanics are really fun there. Really cool looking boss. And I think that's isn't that like one of the 4 like crucial bosses you got to kill to like whatever the story is there?
You gotta kill her to get to the like the main city. Like you got that's where the bell is that you ring.
Right, the bells. Yes, that's what it is. So that was, I think, maybe is my favorite one from Dark Souls 1. A game I have not rolled credits on, to be fair. So like the second half and the DLC, I'm not factoring in those characters in the mix. But I think that's probably my favorite of the ones. I mean, the early ones are classic. Like, the freaking torrent demon, whatever the heck he's called. The gargoyles, fun fights and all that. But I think definitely shout out to that one as being one of the big grandiose things for me. I think for me, like, I do like the big beast ones. I love a good duel type fight, like against a boss that's like around your same size. But I think for me, it's like a big part of it is like the intro, it's the atmosphere, it's like the vibes, like that intro cinematic for certain characters. I can't remember what hers is necessarily, but when I think of Dark Souls 1 bosses, that's like probably one of the first that comes to mind, and I think that's a good sign for what is ultimately one of my favorites from that game.
Yeah, no, I would completely agree with that pick. I had Quelaag on my list as well. One of the best like tracks too for a boss fight, honestly, in like all of the Souls games for me. It's so epic, and I swear that they like reuse some elements of it in some of the Elden Ring like side boss battles, because I just remember hearing like that chant in the background. But yeah, really like eerie battle too. 'Cause of course it's just like human figure on like a spider's body shooting lava. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And then afterward there's like another spider lady that Quelaag was like defending afterward. It's just a really interesting kind of area of that game, because like you said, you kind of go through Blighttown, which is just disgusting and horrible and dark and just nightmare filled.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish to go back and forth here, so you can go least favorite, favorite, whatever you ever want to do. I'll follow.
I'll stick with Dark Souls here because we're in this area. I'm gonna go with one of my least favorite boss battles in all of Souls history, and this has got to be the Bed of Chaos from Dark Souls 1. This is basically what the witch of Izalith is supposed to be, because she's trying to like make her own flame or like eternal or something, and it's just so disappointing because it's like a really cool, interesting character they showcase from like the very start of the game, and you don't even actually fight them. It's just this like giant enemy that's just unsatisfying to fight, and yeah, really, really disappointed. I think I was disappointed with like a lore aspect, but also just like the actual gameplay is just disappointing. So yeah, really not a fan of that one at all.
Yeah. I mean, I'll back that up with my least favorite from Dark Souls 1 is Seath. Seath, what is the full name? Seath the Scaleless.
Oh, Seath the Scaleless. Yeah.
Just stupid, bad game design in my opinion. I hate this boss so much. I mean, part of this is that you have to go down like the Crystal Cave Palace, whatever the heck it's called.
I remember talking about that.
Which is one of the worst designed video game areas I've ever seen in my whole life. And then you get to the bottom, and it's a, I guess, somewhat cool looking enemy, but just has like the stupidest mechanic, as if you just like step on the ground for too long in specific spots, you just get turned to crystal, and then you just like die instantly. And I mean, I hate that boss so much that I quit the game there, and I still haven't gone back. And so, is it the hardest boss? I don't know. There's probably some cheese to it, but the fact that it's like the most annoying platforming sequence into the most annoying boss, it's like, this is just horrible. This is just bad. This is bad video gaming right here. You know,
Yeah.
so much of Dark Souls and these games in general is like the boss fights are meant to drive you crazy, right? And I think they just sometimes totally miss the mark in terms of making things annoying or making things just too like random and hard in ways that's like I don't know how I'm supposed to actually learn how to counter this attack. Like I feel like this attack is just designed to it will randomly hit you or it won't, and you just are gonna get unlucky or lucky. I don't like that kind of thing. I like control, and whatever is going on with Seath and this whole area, bad. Thumbs down.
Yeah. Terrible. Terrible character. Terrible boss fight. I got another one to shout out for Dark Souls 1 for my least favorite. And this is a really, really early battle. And for some reason, every time I play this game, it just gives me pain. And it's the combo. It's the Taurus Demon battle where you fight the Taurus Demon, who's a fast enemy, dual wields these machetes, but he has these two fucking dogs with him. And it is just such a, especially at that stage in the game, like I'm curious if I play through it now, if I still struggle with it now that I've like, you know, I'm the Elden Lord and I'm somewhat good at these Souls games now. If it still gives me as much struggle as it did. But it's just a really tight area. I remember like the camera being kind of awful in this area also. And just like the speed and order that they attack you in. It seems like you dodge one and you get hit by the other and then you try and heal yourself. It's just horrible. It's a horrible fight. There's not like a super close bonfire to it either.
Oh yeah.
You kind of have to go through some enemies. So yeah, I always fucking despise that battle. And it was one that like it's early on in the game, but like still just going up to it, I'd just be like gritting my teeth, like getting so angry that I have to fight these Taurus demons. But yeah, so shout out to that one.
Let me actually blast through my other least favorites because they're all kind of in the same realm of things, and then I can be more positive afterwards. So, I mean, I shout out to the Elden Beast. I mean, I think in general, I kind of feel like the Souls games kind of miss the mark with the final boss a lot of the time. That's generally an opinion I think I hold. I would have to go back to the history books and see if that stands true. But yeah, Elden Beast, I mean, again, I'm sure it's better now that you could use Torrent in there, but you could not when I played the game, and so that was annoying as hell. The other two quick shouts from Elden Ring for me is Melania, and then the final boss, maybe I won't say their name for spoiler reasons for you, Kirklin. Final boss of the DLC of Elden Ring. Elden Ring, what the hell is it called? Shadow of the Erd Tree?
Shadow of the Erd Tree.
Yeah, because I think to me, like, two of the hardest boss fights I've ever done in any game ever, but so annoying with random ass attacks and stuff. The worst for me is when you spend 5 or 6 hours or something to like finally beat a Dark Souls boss, and you beat it and you don't even feel good afterwards. You don't get like sometimes you pop off, you're cheering, you're like, oh fuck yeah. And even if they're an annoying boss, sometimes it's like, yeah, you know what, but I learned this shit, I'm so happy with myself. But those ones I was just like, I hate video games, a pit of despair. I hate this game. This game sucks. Especially with the one in the DLC where it's like, okay, this is the final boss of this too, so to close it out with this thing, and it's like I could just walk away and like Melania, like I think it's optional, right, to fight her. Like you don't need to beat the game.
Don't need to.
But you know, it's kind of like a badge of honor. You kind of have to do it. But I just think they put, like, obviously with Melania, you got like the waterfowl attack, like just the spamming a million things. And I know human beings can parry that or dodge it. I got hit by that thing 100 times. I could never figure out a way to ever not get hit by it. Other than just like be really far away and hope when she uses it, I'm far enough away that it can't hit me. And then when she does like her dive bomb thing, that's stupid. And then the final boss of the DLC has so much bullshit, and it just feels like we want to make this hard for the sake of it being hard and having stupid hitboxes and having stupid reaction times and stupid things that you can't see, and it's just annoying as hell. So there's my rant corner for those two in particular.
I do know about that boss. Are you talking about Consort Radon?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the
Okay.
One.
Yeah. I found out about that boss because I randomly
health pool
watched...
too. It takes for fucking ever. God
yeah.
damn.
I randomly saw this video. Somebody was doing like a randomizer playthrough, which is like it just randomizes the bosses that you encounter. So like the tree sentinel right out the gate could be anyone, and the tree sentinel right out the gate was Consort Radon.
Oh my god.
And it was just so like it was so weird to watch because I think there was like multiple of them too. Like every enemy type would be like a boss. It was just ridiculous. I don't know why people do those types of challenges, but I mean people do like level 1 no hit runs, and it just blows my mind.
People are nuts, man. People are nuts.
They truly are. Yeah. Okay, yeah, nice. I'll shift to... Actually, I only got one from... Actually, no, it's a lie. I found a couple more from Neo. So I'll go to Neo here. You're gonna try and Google these, and they have like really long Japanese names, and I'm probably gonna mispronounce them, so I apologize. But if you want to look them up, I'll try my best to try and pronounce.
You'll try your
well.
best, and I'll try my best to type them out. We'll see. What
Okay, yeah. So the first one that I have is probably my favorite boss battle in this one. It's a very Ghost of Tsushima-esque like scenery. It's really really gorgeous. It's in like a moonlight setting with like tall grass. Really really challenging though. In this games you fight demons, but then you also fight humans, and you fight them differently. And the human battles, like you can parry them, and I was actually parrying in this game, not Souls games. It's a little bit easier in Neo. But this character's name is Tachibana Munishiga. So there you go. You can look that guy up.
Found it because of Google Autofill.
Oh yeah,
so.
hell yeah. There you go. So take a look at like just like the arena that you're kind of fighting him in. This is actually like a side quest. It's not even like a main boss
I like that
battle
he kind of
or
looks a
anything.
bit like a doofus.
He kind of does. Yeah, he kind of does.
Got doofus vibes.
There's like a cutscene that he kind of has like a doofus thing going on. I think he's like possessed, and he kind of is just acting weird.
Nice.
But this boss battle to me like broke me, and then I like would play the game, and then I'd go back, and again it's like an optional side quest, and I'd try it now that I'm like a stronger level, and I would still just get absolutely destroyed. He is like next to infinite like stamina recovery, and it would just be like so fast. So it's like unfair because he's a human like you, so he kind of plays the exact same, but like his stats are just insane. He's this like crazy lightning attack. He uses his bow and arrow. Like it's just insane, and especially that you fight him like I don't know, Act 2 or something. Like it's not super super deep in the game. I feel like it's like a Margit type situation in Elden Ring. Like a character is thrown at you to just humble you and just make you realize that it's like this guy is something else. So that's like the main one that I think of when I think of that game.
Nice.
And the other one that I would shout out is the Great Centipede. Easy one to type, but just an annoying type of like it's not hard, but it's just annoying because it's a really big boss that you kind of have to like. I love the
visual design of this one. That's cool.
For sure, but it's one that you're kind of like you have to like run away from him, and then you get an opportunity to attack. So you're just kind of like waiting, and it's not really like a fun boss battle in that sense. So that one really frustrated me. The first one I mentioned was like a love-hate situation because I love like replaying that battle after I beat it because my character is just stronger and I can like parry the guy and just absolutely destroy him. But it's a love-hate relationship. And then the last one I would mention on here is Hino Enma. So there you go. HINO-ENMA. It's kind of this like, I don't even know, like harpy
scary.
type chick.
I literally got jump scared by the Google search for this girl.
It's a very frustrating boss battle.
Holy hell.
Yeah, she has this like one attack that it's kind of just bullshit. Like you can't dodge it at all. So like the first time, and it like instant kills you. So like the first time you play her, you don't know it's coming, and it happens so fast. You like literally just get one shot, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, there's no counterplay to that. But one that I was very satisfied when I beat her. Like I was hooting and hollering for sure on this one. So those would kind of be my shoutouts from that Neo game. Really freak shows also, like roster of enemies in there. Yeah.
Great. Let's actually jump to our last ad break, and then we'll come back and talk about more freak shows. We'll be right back. Okay, we are back. And yeah, so my next one is I'll do two. I'll do a quick shout out here, and then I'll go into another more general one. Early on in Dark Souls 3, which is my favorite Souls game, for anyone who doesn't remember, there's a boss called the Curse Rotted Greatwood, which is just like a giant cursed tree that just like drop. Since it's a big ass tree, like you can't really see the top of it, and sometimes it'll like shake and like things will fall off the tree and like smack you. And I think it like summons a lot of things. It's not necessarily like the best, boss fight in terms of like just the design, and it's very much not the classic style. It's like one of the big, weird boss fights where it's more like dodging attacks than it is like really tight little combat sequences, I guess. But I always just loved how strange the design was for this creature. It would, for me, as someone who like that was the first Souls game that I really was dedicated to. It was a big skill check early on for me. Like I really struggled with this boss fight, even though it's probably like, really easy in the grand scheme of things, but I was really bad at these games when I was first getting into them, as I probably should be. So shout outs to the freak show that is that one. And then just a general shout out, I think more specifically for Elden Ring, but also just across these games in general, is like dragon boss fights. Some of them aren't super good. Some of them miss the mark for sure. But I think in general, I really enjoy them. I think in Elden Ring, sometimes they utilize a bit too much of like you have to fight the exact same one over and over again, especially in the DLC. They do that a bit too much, unfortunately. But in general, I really like the skate, like the fighting. You know, dragons are such a classic fantasy thing, but very rarely does it feel good to fight a dragon in a game. It just I can't think of many that are iconic and fun. Like I love Skyrim. Is it fun to fight the dragons in the game? Absolutely not. It's awful gameplay. It's annoying as hell. But I think they've always done a good job of that in this, whether that's like classic slashing at the tail, slashing at the ankles, getting up there in the face, which is riskier but deals more damage, maybe chopping off limbs, something you can chop off the tails and stuff like that, and extremely satisfying. I'm sure Monster Hunter is great at that, but I've always kind of enjoyed that kind of genre of fight. And some of them are huge, some of them are more, you can actually see them in one camera shot. But yeah, just I guess a general shout out to Elden Ring and and just greater Souls-like dragons.
Man, first time I saw Grail, I think is what the name is. It's that giant dragon, like the mother of all dragons in Caelid, or the dragon barrow, wherever it is in that area. When I saw that I thought I saw big dragons until I saw that thing, and I thought it was just a mountain, and then it started moving. I was like, holy fuck, man! That's insane. But even like Blasidisax that you fight later on. Really, really cool, just freak show dragon designs. And yeah, like you said, they kind of just have them in all these Souls games. I never really played Bloodborne, so I don't know if they're really relevant there. But yeah, they like their dragons. They're usually like heavy lore implications to the dragons, which I like to eat up, of course.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So what's... Yeah, I'll stay in the Elden Ring vein here. For some complaints, I already mentioned the Godskin duo. That's like a top tenner for like least favorite interactions in a video game ever. Like that almost broke me. That was not good at all. I also hated the Valiant gargoyles that you fight in. It's in like the underworld area, like I think it's in the Shiofra River kind of area. Just annoying. Two really fast, strong enemies that you have to fight at the same time. Happens in all these Souls games. You have to fight like two types of gargoyles, it seems, and they're always frustrating. Those ones gave me a tough challenge for sure.
Yeah, where do you stand on like the boss fights that are kind of like either two enemies or like a whole crowd of them, and you have to like hunt down like a specific one?
Yeah. I mostly don't like them because they're just challenging. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm also just not really strong with them. So they just bring more frustrations than anything. Sometimes I get lucky, and like I just happen to get lucky where like one is kind of separated from the other one, so then I can kind of just focus on one of them. But unlike other boss fights, I feel like I can't really like approach it the same way. Like sometimes you approach a boss fight and you can like dance with them, like you just know all the moves, you know what's gonna happen. For the double ones, it's a little bit inconsistent that way because you're trying to like read their patterns, but then the other one's coming in on your peripheral, and like you just panic rolling at that point. So yeah, I would say for the most part I don't really enjoy them, but. With that being said, one of my favorite boss battles ever, which it's not even a good fight like at all, like with the sequencing, but is the Renala fight, like at the Rhea Lucaria area. That was one of my favorite just sections of the game to go through. Very like Harry Potter feeling. The first time that you like come to the river and you just see like the castle over like the fog. Really, really cool designs, and then just like the freaky nature of that boss battle when you go in there, and just these dolls that are like basically biting at your ankles. And then in the second stage when you fight Renala of like the full moon, and it's just like the water background, like just really cool. Again,
amazing.
Soundtrack's phenomenal. So
the creepy Burger King enemies that are in there too.
Yeah, the Sleep King.
Yeah,
or not Sleep King, Sneak King. Yeah.
Let me quickly rifle off 3 Elden Ring ones, and then my last ones are just my top favorite from Dark Souls 3. Again, my favorite of the series. Rykard, not necessarily for the mechanics of this, but I just love the intro cinematic and the weird design of that character.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so big shout-outs to Rykard. In the DLC, there is Mesmer the Impaler, who is one that frustrated me to no end, and he's such a dweeby, annoying character, and he just got on my freaking nerves. But man, I felt so good when I finally killed that fucking dweeb. I was so happy when I finally took him out. It took me a while. It was a really hard fight, one of the harder fights for me in the DLC, but a really fun learning curve to it. Just like a really interesting dance of, I feel like the range, she has like really big range at times, and so trying to stay like right on the edge of that, because obviously I'm not parrying his attacks, so I got to stay right on that edge. I found really engaging. So shouts to Mesmer, the Impaler. And then a shout out to another earlier game-ish boss is Godric the Grafted. I love the design, literally just an old king who just has other body parts kind of grafted onto him. I used his weapon for a long time, like late into the game as well, so I was kind of always remembering that. Love the setting. Of course, it's like kind of the climactic moment of this huge castle that you've been in for like hours and hours. But it's just a really fun boss fight, very classic kind of Dark Souls boss fight, and I think it's excellently designed. And obviously, once you beat it too, not only did I get a great weapon, I can't remember if I could use the weapon right away. I probably had to level up my stats a bit more. But after you get through that, opens up a huge chunk of the game. So it's like a really just iconic, pretty early on moment that I feel like I'll always remember from Elden Ring. So yeah, I really like that boss fight.
Especially that's like the first demigod that you encounter in the game. So there's like a lot of build up to it. Like you're seeing these grafted body parts throughout, but then to see him, he's just a freak show. And then second stage when he rips off the dragon's head, and I feel like I have that singed in my head of like the soundtrack and him just bear witness, and he's just like blowing fire at you, and especially early on, just getting smoked that, and I think he just shit talks you. Like, I mean, all the bosses shit talk you when they kill you, of course. You know, I am Melania. I've heard that name fucking a million times.
Yeah, it's like you know they're shit talking you, but you don't really know what they're saying or what it means, but you just know that they're digging in hard. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. Awesome. I mean, I didn't have it. Well, I did have it on my list, but you already talked about it. Melania. That was one that it was like a legend, like leading up to it. Just heard. The imagery, really cool character design, really interesting lore around them also.
Yeah, probably the most like popular character from the game overall.
Yeah, definitely
like
would
fan
be like
art
the
and
poster
like,
child.
all that stuff,
Yeah, for sure. So big lead up, and it was very, very challenging, very, very hard. And just made me want to quit the game multiple times. Margit would be a good shout out too. That was like just a humbler. I think that's like the first boss that I've encountered in these games that like has like delay attacks. and and just like attacking you at different times, and like understanding like inputs where like they will actually attack you if you go to like drink your health pot or something like that. It teaches you a lot kind of early on in the game, and that was one I was just beating my head at, and probably underleveled, of course, because it's kind of like the first thing that you kind of come across. So really, really good boss battle there. Also Estelle, the void, whatever it's called, the natural born of the void. The giant cosmic centipede thing. Yeah, that one beat the shit out of me. That one took so many tries. This is the type of boss battle though, and there's multiple like this. Elden Beast is like this also, where you're just kind of fighting the camera more than anything at certain parts. Like sometimes locking on isn't good because like you just can't see enough of the enemy. One that after I beat it, like I don't know, attempt like 70 or whatever the hell it was. I feel like I was really getting good at it. Like I was just dodging it consistently. And then you know that feeling when you're like, oh, I got this fucker. I got this fucker. And then you just sprint into the boss room. You die like instantly and you're like, oh, okay, next time. I got this. I got this. And then you get really, really close. And then you die. But like it was just like one of those where I was feeling good even though I was starting to really get pumped by that character. Cool design, but yeah, it was a frustrating battle for sure.
Yeah, how many more do you have on your list?
Two more.
Okay.
So I'll rail these off, I think.
Sure, go for
real
it.
Quick, yeah. One of my favorites in the entire game was the fight that you do with Malekith. Really, really challenging because you have to fight the like draconic soldier like before him, which is really, really challenging. but just a really stylistic fight. Like just his moves are like so epic, and when he just like goes to his beast form, it's just so epic, and one that I felt really really proud of myself when I beat. I It took a lot of tries, but I beat it in like one sitting, which was really good feeling also. And yeah, just by that point in the game too, like it's late game at this stage, so I feel like I was also just really vibing with my character and just really like, I don't know, I was just peaking in in that stage. So really really happy with that boss fight, and just a really cool character too, Malekith, and just the whole interaction between him and Marika, and just like these shadowbound beasts are so cool. Especially like the more I dive into the lore, it's just
I love that you
so
know the
fascinating.
lore for these things. I'm just like, yeah, it looks weird. I like them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I gotta know the ins and outs. I gotta know all the relationships, and I mean, I'll be ready for the movie. I'll be able to call out all of the fallacies and changing of the of the canon. Oh yeah, sorry. And then my last one, Moog. Man,
Nice. Moog fan. Hey?
really cool fight, but man, it was so frustrating, especially that second phase when it just like he's like undodgeable attacks. Same thing with Melania, that he like heals himself when he attacks you. I can't remember if it's in all stages or just that second phase, but yeah, really really cool area, and just again really cool like type of character. The whole like the faceless mother or nameless, like whatever his like his god is that he's worshiping, is just so freaky, and that whole area that you're in is really really fascinating, and yeah, just a cool design of an enemy too. But yeah, that fight was like bullshit. I like undodgeable attacks. Fuck off. It's like the seat the scaleless thing that you're mentioning. Like it's just so frustrating, where you think that you're like you're doing all the things right, but he just gets you with some ridiculous stuff. So those would be my last two that I would shout out for Elden Ring.
Yeah, I think for that, I think I was over leveled. Like I think I came back to that pretty late to do Moog, so it ended up being a bit easier than I think it should have been. But it was still, with that said, quite difficult and took me quite a lot of attempts. But I love the setting of that, and obviously I love the underground world of Elden Ring in general. So that kind of being like the final moment of it is really great.
And especially like he has like the little like cocoon thing that like Miquella's corpse is just like the arm stick. Oh, it's just so twisted and dark and weird, and there's so much of that in these Souls games.
Yeah. Okay, I have 4 more, 2 quick shouts, and then 2 that I'll talk a little bit more about. One, Slave Knight. These are all from Dark Souls 3. Slave Knight Gale, who I think is the final boss of one of the 2 DLCs. Just a classic duel fight. I really like it. He almost has like a machine gun crossbow at one point too, which feels like they're really deep in like the Bloodborne pocket when they were working on that DLC in terms of like the design going on there. But I think it might be like possibly the biggest arena in all of Souls fights, possibly, even though it's like a small fight against like one guy. But I love the intro of it because you just enter this like huge, endless like just sand dune landscape. There's like no obstacles. It's just big sand dunes. And when as soon as you enter the fight, you just see him in the distance, this creepy fucker. He's like a guy, and it takes him like 2 minutes to get to or whatever it is. And it just creeps me the hell out, but it's just weird and kind of epic at the same time.
Sorry, what's his name?
Slave Knight Gale.
Slave Knight Gale.
Yeah. He's a weird guy. He's something's not right with him, but a classic fight, really tough one as well. He has a huge freaking health pool. But I just remember the arena and the setting of it being extremely distinct and kind of strange. Shoutouts to the Nameless King, who's in like a kind of somewhat hidden area in Dark Souls 3, just like a Nameless King on top of a weird blue dragon. 2 kind of phases to the fight. Like after you finally kill his dragon, he gets off and he's like, "You killed my dragon, I'm gonna kill you." I mean, he says it in a more weird FromSoft way. But yeah, really really cool fight. He has really cool attacks. Really enjoyed that one. And then my second to last one here is Frida, and I forget what the full name of this boss fight is. It's the first ever and maybe one of the only 3-phase boss fights in a Souls game. So I think it starts out with you one-on-one against Frida, and she's almost like a nun or something. You're like in this church, you're fighting her. Very classic kind of duel boss fight against someone who's like kind of your size. I could be getting this wrong of how the 3 phases work out. It's been a few years now. And then eventually, like, I think it's like her dad. Yeah, because I think you're fighting her, and her dad is like this huge giant guy, and he's like sitting on like a throne at the back of this church. And after you take her out in the first phase, then he like jumps up off the throne, and you have to fight both of them at the same time. So now she's doing her crazy attacks. Meanwhile, he's this guy with like this giant cauldron who just like is like smashing the ground, like chomping at you. His legs don't work, I think. So he's just like frantically crawling and like smashing stuff coming towards you. So he's like constantly chasing you, where she's more like dodging around like the outside and like spamming like long range attacks. Really, really cool. And then eventually you take him out, or maybe you take her out, or maybe they both have a health pool, whatever it is. And then it goes into phase 3, and now it's just her again, but she's like cracked out of her mind. All of her powers have like way bigger AoEs than they once did, and it is just epic. So it took me a lot of attempts, because it's also a long one, because it's 3 whole phases, and the second phase has like 2 health bars, I think, in it. But yeah, really, really epic fight, really, really cool, and I felt really good when I finally beat that one.
That sounds crazy. Dark Souls 3 is one that I've only heard amazing thing. Many people that are fans of the series say that's their favorite one, so I am excited to get to that one. You reminded me though of like the 2 people, or the multi phases. Just your description of that battle. Also got to shout out the Ornstein and Smoke
classics,
battle from Dark Souls 1, man. That one is like, I heard a lot of things leading up
That's
to
like
it.
The OG
it totally delivered.
2 bosses, 2 health bar thing, yeah. So good.
And just like 2 freak show design. Like one is just ginormous with this big ass hammer, and the other one's fast, nimble.
The classic Harry and Marv archetypes.
Yeah. Waluigi and Luigi type
characters.
Yeah.
And then my all-time favorite Souls boss fight is the Abyss Watchers from Dark Souls 3 as well. Starts out with like the coolest intro cinematic. You walk into this big, again, it's almost like a church-like setting. You walk in, and there's 2 guys who kind of look like clones of each other, and they're fighting, and one of them like kills the other one, and it kills like his brother, like his identical twin or whatever. And as you like enter this arena, you just see like hundreds of bodies of other ones of these Abyss Watchers that have all just in this eternal battle killing each other. You walk in, you see him like stab his brother in the chest or whatever it is, and then he just like slowly turns his helmet and looks at you, and then, you know, battles on at that point. So absolutely epic intro for this boss fight. And it starts out, again, as a pretty classic duel, which you can tell this is kind of like my favorite, is like the fighting a guy similar size to you, duel kind of thing. At one point during the fight, one of them will like wake up, and he'll join the fray as well. I don't think he has his own health bar, and he has like red eyes. So me and my buddies, when we were all fighting him and taking turns like fighting him, we call that Big Red. Oh, Big Red's in the fight. Watch out for Big Red. And then Big Red, you can like attack Big Red, and then Big Red will attack you back, or Big Red will also fight the main Abyss Watcher. And so it's this really fun dance of like trying to balance them out, or trying to like bait them to like hit each other so that they aggro against each other, so you can get some cheap shots in. And then the classic, once you take out that phase of the fight, then the Abyss Watcher goes like Insano mode, gets like a huge fire sword. So now all their attacks have like double the hitbox that they did before, and all the attacks have like, you know, 3 or 4 more moves in the combos. So just super big fights, and I feel like, or super long combos. And I think for me, this was the first huge roadblock in Dark Souls 3. This is the first boss that took me hours and hours and hours to beat. And it was one that I this is when I lived with Saris and Clinton, and so I'd watch Saris do this boss fight, and I was like, I think it was watching him do that boss fight is what made me want to play the game. So I'm like, this looks amazing. I want to play this. And he's super good at these games, so he like crushed the Abyss Watchers, like, you know, few tries, whatever, takes him out. I get there, it takes me hours and hours, and then just the fun journey of them watching Clinton, who's played like even less of these kinds of games, and it took him so long, but I was there for like every fight, watching him. We all like different play styles too, so watching him like fight the Abyss Watchers, and I don't know, it's just a very, I've told the story before a little bit, but just that iconic time for me in Dark Souls 3. It was like very much me and my 2 roommates just like all playing this game at the same time. If I wasn't playing the game, I was watching one of my roommates play it, and Abyss Watchers is to me like the highlight of that experience, and just such a cool boss fight. You know, it's certainly not like the craziest design or the coolest attack patterns or whatever, but I just love the atmosphere of it. I love the design of it. I love having like a neutral fighter in the arena. I think it's like a really fun idea too, and it felt so freaking good when I finally beat it. Because anytime you die to Abyss Watchers, it's extremely fair. There's no weird cheap shots. There's no janky hitboxes. There's no like camera jank. I mean, if you're not looking and there's like two of them and you're, but that's part of the fight is like making sure you're looking in the right angles. And like, I think it does a good job of teaching you to not rely so much on lock on as well, because you kind of have to unlock and make sure you're like scoping out the full arena. So yeah, I love the Abyss Watchers, my favorite boss fight in the series.
That's awesome. I love that origin. Yeah, that's good.
Kirklin, any last minute shoutouts here, or have we covered our favorites and least favorites at this point?
No. I mean, I think we got all the main head honchos, the ones that I wanted to mention at least. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, a small apology to the Bloodborne fans, of course, and Dark Souls 2 fans and Demon Souls fans, because I've dabbled in all these games, but I have not beat any of them. And like Dark Souls 1, I've played quite a lot of. Dark Souls 3, I've obviously played every which way and played a lot of Elden Ring. And you've kind of had a similar journey. I guess we've played similar games, a lot of Dark Souls 1, a lot of Elden Ring. But yeah, definitely have a lot of pockets in here. So this is definitely a list we could revisit sometime in the future when we've played more of these other games in the series and as more of them release. I don't know if I'll be picking up the new one from them this year on the Switch too. We'll see if I'm getting that. But Kirkland, this is very fun to reminisce on this series. Hear your tales of glory here as you finally rolled credits on this bad boy. And so yeah, again, congratulations. Thank you everyone for listening. Kirkland, what's up?
Gotta ask you, what ending did you choose? Do you remember on your Elden Ring journey?
Oh, I don't remember. No, what are the options again?
There's like 9 or something. There's there's quite a bit.
I definitely did not do like all the side quest stuff because I didn't know how any of it worked.
So. So you probably just had like 1 to go.
I probably had the most basic ass bitch ending, I would say, if I had to guess.
You go. Yeah. There you go. I did the Age of the Stars one. That's my personal one. I sided with Ronnie the Witch because I love that character design so much. I also just love the Carians. The Carian Manor with those fucking hand enemies. Just really freaky, cool designs. So that's where I sided with. I'm curious where you sided with if you just don't do any of the side
I mean, I like
quests.
Ronnie too, but I don't think I did enough of her quests to like side with her, I guess.
Probably, It's quite a long like side quest that you kind of have to go down. Yeah,
because there's one of them. They have to like. There's like a guy howling in a tree, and you have to go like activate him, and it's like.
That's like optional.
How was I ever gonna know about this guy in the tree?
I know.
Like,
it's ridiculous. Yeah, well, you have to go to that area, and then that activates a dialogue sequence with like a merchant in like a completely different area. It's like how what?
So dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb, but some people are really into how dumb it is, and I love that for them. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you, Kirkland, for joining me. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.